Hi, this is Phyllis, and welcome back to my channel. I'd like to welcome all of my new subscribers. Thank you for being a part of making jewelry with me. Today's project is this right angle weave pinch bead bracelet, and it's a dainty bracelet, but also really strong. I hope you like it enough to hang around for the materials list and to make this bracelet with me. The materials for today's project are a size 11 seed bead, and this color is aluminum permanent galvanized, and it's by Toho. Then we're going to use our 5x3mm pinch beads, and these are like the khaki iris color. I bought them at a bead show on a hank some time ago, so I've got several of them. Then I'm going to be using a slide clasp. This is a two-hole slide clasp. It's magnetic, and but it has both sides, so I'm going to use 4 and this is in my gunmetal color, and I'm going to use 4 gunmetal colored wired guardians. I'm using a size 11 needle. Size 11 or 12 is best because we're going to be going through the beads numerous times. I'm using my 6-pound fire line, and I don't suggest any higher poundage width area of the fire line because you're going to be going back through the beads several times. I'm using the smoke color, and I'm also using my my fire line scissors and my bead mat. So if you're interested in making this bracelet, stick around, and I'll thread my needle with a very comfortable length of thread because we're going to be using a lot of thread today. So we'll get started. We're going to begin by stringing on 4 of our seed beads and pull them down. And you could leave some tail, but we're really going to tie on later on to make the clasp, so you don't have to worry about leaving anything right now. Just, you know, a comfortable 3 or 4 inches to hold on to. I'm going to pass my needle back through 2 seed beads, and I'm going to set these up like a ladder stitch. And I'm going to reinforce this whole connection here. I'm sorry, this whole ladder stitch by passing back through the second set of beads, passing back through the first set of beads. It's already getting tight in there. And then passing back through these beads. At this point, we will do right angle weave with 2 beads per side. So I already have my first side, and so I need to pick string on 6 of these size 11 seed beads and pass my needle back down into these 2 seed beads. Now once here, get my tail thread out of the way. Once you have this set up here, you're going to string on a seed bead and pass your needle through 2 seed beads and hold it tight so that your beads don't come loose, and that 1 seed bead sits in right there. What we're doing is we're making a formation. String on a size 11 seed bead and pass your needle through the next 2 seed beads. And that sits right there. And we're going to repeat this again. String on a size 11 seed bead, pass your needle through these 2 seed beads. And one more time, string on a seed bead, pass your needle through the next 2 seed beads, and try to avoid going into that one that's sitting on the corner there. Just go through the 2 seed beads here. And I apologize for turning it, but I have to keep turning the with that I can work comfortably. So with your needle exiting here, with your thread exiting here, pass your needle through these 2 seed beads on this side. So, okay, we're already tight. No, we're not tight. And then pull your thread and then pass through these 2 seed beads here. So this is what we have: a right angle weave unit that has been formed. It's got 4 posts here. Sorry about that. It's got the 4 posts, my outside studs there, and our beginning. And that's going to be significant when we add our clasping on the ends. So now with my thread exiting this seed bead, we're going to string on 2 seed beads, and we're going to pass our needle back through them, these 2 seed beads here. And we're going to reinforce that just by passing our needle back through, back up these 2. And back through these 2. With your thread exiting here, you're going to string on 2 seed beads, a pinch bead, and 2 seed beads, and pass your needle back through these 2 seed beads here. We're going to reinforce this by passing our thread back through all of these. And around. And up into the pinch bead. With your thread exiting there, you're going to string on 6 seed beads. And you're going to pass your needle back into this side of the pinch bead. And we're going to advance our needle back around this side. And continue through these 2. So what I've done is I have passed my needle back around these 6 seed beads, and once there I'm going to string on a seed bead and pass that seed bead through, pass my needle through all 6 of these seed beads. And string on a seed bead and pass it through all of these again. That's why you need a size 12, size 11 or 12 beading needle, because you will be going through these beads. Now, when you get through here, so it's going to be easy for you to remember what you're doing. Once you get to this point here and you go advance your needle through these 2 seed beads, remember you're going to advance through the one that you strung on, and 2 more, and now 2 more here, because where you want to be is here. You want to be here, but on this side. So continue passing your needle through these 2 seed beads and pull your thread, and here, once here, you string on 2 seed beads and pass them through. These last 2 seed beads. And pass your needle down this way. Back again here, because I found that these beads have a tendency to split because we are advancing our needle. I mean, we're going to be moving our thread in different directions, and so you want to make sure you have some secure connections. So once here now, we are going to continue by stringing on our box. So we need our right angle weave unit, which is 2 beads per side. So we need 6 seed beads. And we string on our 6 and we pass our needle back through these 2 seed beads here. And once here, you hold tight to your beads and you string on a seed bead and pass that seed bead, that your needle, through the next 2 seed beads and pull so that you create a post. String on 1 seed bead, pass your needle through 2 seed beads. Now hold on to those beads and pull through and create a post. String on a seed bead, pass your needle through these 2 seed beads on the side, and you create a post here. And your last post, you string on 1 seed bead and you pass through these 2 and avoid going through your post seed bead. And continue advancing your needle through these 2 seed beads on this side. Sorry about the shaking. I'm hitting my tripod. And right now where you're going to need to be is in these 2 seed beads here. And now you are in position to add your next ladder. So you string on 2 seed beads and you pass your needle back through these 2 here. Pull your thread. And we're going to reinforce the ladder by passing our needle through here and back here. And back down. So now we're going to put on our pinch. We're going to string on 2 seed beads, a pinch bead, and 2 seed beads. And we're going to pass our needle back through here. Continue advancing through these. And I'm not going to reinforce right now because I'm going to keep going back through. I reinforced this one because it was the first one. That's where I want my strongest connection, near the ends. Once here, I'm going to string on 6 seed beads. Pass my thread back through this side here. And I'm going to now advance my needle this way through all of these beads. After going through these 6, you string on a seed bead. You pass your needle through all 6 on this side. String on a seed bead and pass your needle through all of these beads. And continue advancing through these 2. The one that you strung on in the center, these 2, and these 2 here. And with your thread exiting, you have the center bead that you strung on. You go through 4 more beads, and with your thread exiting that 4th bead, you string on 2 seed beads and pass your needle back through these 2, making the setup to begin your next right angle weave unit, which you remember to reinforce these here, reinforce your ladder. And start all over again. We're going to make our right angle weave unit, using 2 units per side. I'm going to string on 6 seed beads. And you pass your needle back down these. And what you're going to do is you're going to make alternating units. The right angle weave unit and the pinch bead unit. So we're here now, thread exiting this seed bead. I strung on a seed bead, pass my needle through these 2 seed beads to create a post. String on 1 seed bead, pass your needle through the next 2 seed beads to create that post. String on a seed bead, pass your needle through the next 2 seed beads to create that post. And the last post bead, string that on pass through these two beads only. And make sure you pull tightly to make sure that you have a nice tight right angle weave unit. Continue advancing your needle through these two. Avoiding your post bead. These two seed beads and the next two here, because now is where you need to make your ladder. String on 2 seed beads, pass back through, reinforce the ladder, and you're going to do this repetitively, alternating your right angle weave units and your pinch units until you believe that you have not a knot in your thread. No, I don't believe I have a knot. That's a fact that I have a knot, but you continue making these alternating units until you have the length of the bracelet minus the length of your clasp. My clasp is my slide, and I'm going to be using the wire guardians, so I would say that my clasp is going to be 3/4 of an inch. So I have to keep moving until I get 6.5, because I want to make a 7 or 7.25 inch bracelet. So I need to keep going until I get the 6.5 inches that I need before I add my clasp. Additionally, you want to end with a right angle weave unit. So if you have to make it shorter, we can add length to our ends by making ladders on the ends of these right angle weave units. So just keep going, continue until you get your length, and I will be with you. I've completed the length of my bracelet, and I've got my tape measure here, and it's 6 3/4 of an inch. So when I get done adding my clasp, it's going to be a little loose on my wrist, but it's going to be okay. And additionally, if you wanted to just put a clasp on the end now, that's a cute bracelet. You could do that, but I'm not going to do that. What I need to do at this point is add thread, and when I get done adding my thread, and I'm going to leave a link in my description box for Gina's beginners beaders. She shows you exactly how to add thread, so I'm going to do that. But when I get done adding my thread, I'm going to pop back on and show you how I'm going to continue with my bracelet. I extended my fire line, and here we are, and I want you to take note of where my thread is exiting. My working thread is exiting here, and what I'm going to do now is reposition by passing through these 2 seed beads here, and continuing through these 2. Now, once here, just make sure that that's pulled tightly. All right, now once here, I'm going to add, string on 2 seed beads, and I'm going to make my ladder as I have been doing. And I'm going to make sure I reinforce this, because this will be at one end of the bracelet. That's where I want the most thread going through these beads. And here. And we're going to repeat that. String on 2 more seed beads, and we're going to, I've been calling it a ladder. Maybe I should be calling it a bridge. We're going to extend our bridge here. But it was a ladder stitch. That's why I was calling it that. All right. Now we're here. And here is where I'm going to begin the right angle weave unit by stringing on 6 of my seed beads and passing my needle back through these 2 seed beads here on my ladder stitch, on my bridge. Now I'm going to just move it, reposition it so that I can have ease of placing the beads. And I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing. I'm going to add my 4 post beads. So I've strung on a seed bead and I'm passing it through these next 2 seed beads, and I'm going to secure that, pull it tightly, and string on the next seed bead and pass it through the next 2 seed beads. String on a seed bead and pass it through the next 2 seed beads. And my last post bead I string on and I pass through the next 2 seed beads. And continue advancing my needle all the way around again by going through these 2 seed beads, these 2 on the side, and these 2 on the top again. And here I'm going to string on 2 seed beads and add my ladder stitch by passing my needle back through those 2 seed beads. Going back through these 2. And back through these 2 where we started. I'm going to continue advancing down these 2. And it's separating here, so let's go back there. I don't know if I don't think I reinforced that when I was coming around. It's pulled apart, but that's okay. I was in a place where I could see that I needed to, and so you can do it there too. All right, now I'm going to pass the needle through these two, which now will make us in the position to add our next ladder. Stringing on 2 of our size 11 seed beads, passing back through these 2. Well, how about 2 seed beads that will work? String on 2 new seed beads, and now pass back through these 2. And we will reinforce these. Excuse me. Okay. Now, once here, now we will make our pinch bead unit. All right, I know that when we started, when I was finished, we were down here. I know that's where we started, but now that I've done all of the work, then I want to start here. I want to flip it this way so that it looks like this. And if you've been with me the whole time, your thread should be exiting in the same place where my thread is exiting. So now once here, if it isn't, you know, you could do a half hitch knot and change the direction of your thread, but hopefully you're with me. So at this point, we're going to string on 2 of our seed beads, 1 pinch bead, and 2 seed beads, and we're going to bring our thread back through this seed bead here. Okay, and also you have to get your occupational hazards going, tangle up your work. All right, now continue advancing your needle through these 2 seed beads here. This is nothing different than what we were doing on the single strip. This is the unit that's near the an end, so we're going to reinforce it. And I really thought that I had untangled that. Okay. All right. I'm reinforcing it because it's near an end. Just go back around again here. And continue here, and then pass your needle up into the pinch bead. I'm going to lay it down so that you can see where we are. Okay, now here is where we add 6 of our seed beads, and we're going to pass our needle back into the pinch bead again. From here, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. We're going to go in to the left, and we're going to pass through all 6 of these seed beads. And here, instead of adding a size 11 seed bead, what we're going to do is use our existing size 11 seed bead that's on this pinch bead unit here. So the seed bead that we added on that side, we just pass our needle through it, just go back to the pinch bead unit that we're working on and go through all 6 of these beads again. This is the 6th one. And once here, well, you untangle your thread. I guess this is the flavor of the day. Tangle it up. All right. And I still have more tangles. Look at that. It's all right. We'll get them. All right. So here we are. I've gone through these 6 seed beads, and this is where we're going to add a seed bead. But I'm going to pause you for a second so I can untangle this. Well, I successfully untangled my mess. And here we go. So I'm going to string on one size 11 seed bead and pass my needle through all 6 of these seed beads. Well, however many seed beads there are on this side. I'm just turning you this way so you can see where I am. These 2. These 2. Our attached seed bead here. And the next 4 for repositioning. Now we are set. We are in position to make the next ladder stitch. String on 2 seed beads, pass our needle through these 2. We will reposition here. I'm sorry, reinforce here by passing the needle through these 2 sets of beads again. And here we're going to add our right angle weave unit by stringing on 6 of our seed beads. I'm going to pass my 6 seed beads back into these 2 seed beads here. And I'm going to turn it this way slightly so that you can see what I'm doing. And now I'm going to add my series of my 4 post seed beads, string on a seed bead, and pass my needle through the next 2 seed beads, string on a seed bead, and pass my needle through the next 2 seed beads. String on a seed bead, pass my needle through the next 2 seed beads. And string on a seed bead and pass my needle through the next 2 seed beads, and that creates my post foundation formation, And I'm going to continue advancing my needle here. Through these two. And through these two. And now we're just in our position to add our ladder stitch. So string on 2 size 11 seed beads and pass your needle back through these 2 seed beads. And we reached our flavor for the day again, tangling. Okay, we passed our needle through these 2 seed beads here, and now we have to reinforce our ladder stitch or our bridge by going back into these 2 seed beads. And reposition here through these 2 when we are done with the reinforcement. Okay, this is where we are. This is what we have. Now, our thread is exiting these 2 seed beads. So what we're going to do now is string on 2 seed beads, a pinch bead, and 2 seed beads, and pass our needle back into these 2 seed beads. Continue advancing through these 2 and up into the pinch bead. String on 6 seed beads. And pass our needle into the pinch bead. And continue advancing your needle this way through all 6 of these seed beads. That's 4 of them. And the final 2 of the 6. And once there, we pass our needle through this seed bead here that we added on the previous pinch bead, this one. Just the one. Yeah, there you go. And then we're going to go into these 6 seed beads on this unit. And once there, we're going to string on a seed bead and pass it again around all these 6 again. Just going to turn it this way. And I'm going to keep going. Through these two, which complete the 6 on this side, this one which is attached to this pinch bead, and then the next 4 seed beads. So 2, 4, and once here now, we are ready to add our ladder. String on 2 seed beads, pass back through these 2 seed beads here, and we're going to reinforce that connection. And once here, sorry about that, I'm knocking against my tripod again. Once here, we're going to now add on our next right angle weave unit and add our posts. And then we're going to do the pinch unit. And don't forget to, instead of adding a seed bead here on this side, we're going to pass our needle through this seed bead and attach it to the next pinch unit. And you're going to continue doing that until you have your double straps done. And I am going to see you back when I'm done with mine. I completed the length of my second strip now, and I have my thread exiting these seed beads here on the inside. So I'm going to do my attachment to this right angle weave here. Make sure that when you get to these last 2 pinch bead units, that you reinforce a couple of times because they're near the end, and I've already reinforced here. So right now my working thread is exiting these 2 seed beads, and I picked up 2 of my seed beads, and I'm going to pass my needle back through these 2 seed beads, and I'm going to reinforce that ladder stitch there. Going back through here and back down the center again. And now I'm going to attach this center ladder stitch that I just made to this side, and I'm going to pass my needle through those 2 seed beads back here, back into these 2 seed beads, back into the center, and on this side, into those 2 seed beads, and advance into these 2 seed beads, and string on 2 seed beads and pass back through and reinforce this connection, or I'm sorry, reinforce this ladder stitch. And pass the needle, continue passing the needle this way and down into these 2 seed beads on this side. I'm just going to turn that work around so that I can work this way, and I'm going to make a half hitch knot here by passing my needle under these seed beads where I want to place my knot, and pull up a loop, and I'm going to pass my needle through that loop twice and pull that knot down into those beads and continue to advance my needle this way in this ladder stitch here, and here. I'm just going to go right into this one. And I'm gonna nip off the thread there, and I'm gonna nip off all of my threads that I have hanging because well, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna nip this one off because what I'm gonna do now is tie on a new thread so that we can attach our clasp, and I'll be back in a minute. I tied on a piece of thread, and I have my knot right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave my thread in this way. I'm going to pass through these 2 seed beads here. And up these 2. And into these 2 here. And here into these 2. I'm going to string on a seed bead and one of my wire guardians. I'm going to go into around both holes of around both holes of this wire guard, and tighten down my thread for now because it's going to loosen up for a second. And I'm going to take my clasp, and I'm not going to separate it. I'm not going to separate it. I'm going to leave it together, and I'm going to pass my needle through one of the holes here. I'm going to pull my guardian, the loop of that clasp into that guardian. I'm going to squeeze the guardian. It's kind of dark. Just going to squeeze that, and I'm going to pass my needle into the seed bead and tighten down on this again. Now, once here, I'm going to continue to move my thread. I'm going to pass my needle down into this seed bead here. I'm going to string on a seed bead. I'm going to pass my needle through this seed bead. I'm going to continue advancing through these two seed beads here. And into these two here. And once there, string on a seed bead and a wire guardian, and go through both of those holes. And tighten down on their thread and pass your needle through the other loop on the same side and pull your wire guardian through that loop. Today okay, all right, that was a feat, right? And then squeeze the guardian and it's pretty fiddly, it really is. And once you do that, squeeze the guardian, then you're going to pass the needle into this seed bead here, and you have this side of the clasp attached. If you're wondering about my color, I chose this color clasp because it kind of matches, like I don't have one that matches these aluminums exactly. However, you can, it kind of will match this, the dark khaki-ness of those pinch beads. So, you know, kind of flows for me. So now you can't just, I can't just leave that attachment like that without reinforcing it. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go down into this seed bead here, and I'm going to go to continue advancing through these 3 seed beads, and up the seed bead around the wire guardian, through the loop and down the second hole of the wire guardian, into the seed bead, down into this seed bead, and into these 2, and back up here and around the wire guardian, through the clasp, into the second hole, back into that seed bead. And you could, if you wanted, you could do it again. Just make sure that your thread is resting in the grooves of the wire guardians, because they work great as long as they are properly attached. And that thread is not in that groove, but it is now. There you go. All right, and then just weave your threads through these seed beads and find a place to tie knots, and cut off your threads. And once you do that, you can do the other side. Now, if I were you, I would not separate my clasp yet. What I would do is, once I get to the other side, once I run weave my threads and get into position to add the clasp, what I would do is, just before I do anything, just make sure that I attach the right side of the clasp before I separate it and finish working on it. So I would make sure that I was, you know, if I was coming out of here, that I would be into this one, that hole, before I slide that open to do my clasping, just to make sure that I'm in the right place. Okay, so I'm going to tie some knots, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to attach down here, and I'm going to attach the second side of the clasp, and when I'm done, I will show you my finished piece. Both sides of my clasp are attached, and I did it, I made sure that they were attached properly, and that will complete our little pinch bead bracelet. And it looks like it's gonna fit nicely around my wrist, and it's kind of cute, I think. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you liked my project, and I hope you make it, and see you the next time. Thank you for watching.